Hey guys, happy Friday, TGIF. Today's Friday, September 28th, 2019. End of September, last business day in September, actually, which is, no, we have Monday. Wait, is today the 28th or the 27th? 27th. See, what do I know? It's the 27th. Super excited to have my friend Julio Sanchez on the show. We've been trying to do this for months. Hey, Jennifer Holt, let us know you can hear us and see us. Give us a thumbs up. Rebecca Soto, are you on from all the way in San Diego at NAREP? Hey, Philip, what's going on? We've been trying to do this. He has such a great spirit, a great smile, always in a good mood. So always excited to spend time with my friend Julio, and so I'm super excited to have you on the show. All right, so I assume people would tell us if they can hear us or see us. Eddie Nickel, what's up? Give us a little bit of background. Everybody wants to know a little origin story. They want to know where Julio's from, what you do. I love the topic of this show.
Yeah.
I think it was brilliant. You have a different situation.
Yeah.
So we're going to lead up to that, but welcome and tell us about you.
Hi everybody. I am from South America, Venezuela. We moved here in 22 years ago. My mom decided that, probably I had a vision or something, and she said, let's go to the U.S. because Venezuela was going to be bad. 22 years later, we all know the story about Venezuela, unfortunately.
She knew, right?
Yes, I guess.
Did you all of you go?
Yes, all of us go. I mean, I stayed behind for one more year to finish my high school, but my mom, dad, my brothers and sister moved to the U.S. in 1995, and I'm 96, and I moved in 1997.
Awesome. So
I moved in. I settled in. My dad wanted me to go to school. It didn't happen, so I had to go to work. And while working, I learned about real estate, fall in love with the business. 6 years later, I got my license and I started working.
Wait, did you want? Hold on, before I ask you the backstory.
Yeah.
Julio is an amazing person, humble and caring. That's a sweet comment.
Thank you.
But you didn't always want to be a realtor. So what did you want to do when you got here? What was everybody involved with? How did you fall into, or how did you decide to get into the real estate world?
I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I wanted to own a business. I always looking into owning a business, looking for some business that I like to do, and then open our own place, right? So
what business was that?
As soon as I got here, I started working in a shoe store, right? It was 90 hours a week, $4 an hour.
Wow.
Yes, so it's very very tough, but you know what? That builds character, that help you appreciate a lot of things. And so I started working in that business, and doing that, selling shoes. The partner of the owner will come in here and there, and he was a real estate agent.
Oh, that's cool.
So I saw his lifestyle and his free time, his own agenda. So I said, you know what? I like that. I'm going to look into it. 6 years later, I got my papers because I came here, I stayed over. And so I got my papers and I got my license and I started working 6 years ago.
All right, so what was it like? So all of you out here who always ask me, I want to be in real estate because I'm immediately in the first month going to be able to buy a mansion and a yacht, Ferrari. So tell them a little bit about that, because it's not an immediate thing. You get your license and you're ready to go, but you still have a lot of ground to cover.
Yes. So basically, I can tell the new agents that work with our office is that you have to build a sphere of influence list. To call them, to tell them that you're an agent, for them to ask for referrals.
Right.
So basically, you can't just go into the business and do not make phone calls. Real estate is about relationships. We know that, everybody knows that.
Absolutely.
But some agents don't know, and they get into the business and they're just like, what do I do? So basically you got to call everybody and keep calling everybody.
Is that what you did? You did calls? Because did you have a database? Because, I know the first thing that they usually ask on sales jobs or any kind of relationship job, who are your relationships?
Well,
Let's tap into your centers of influence.
I do not have a database because I was working in a shoe store, so I didn't know anybody, right? So I didn't go to high school here, so to call my friends from high school.
Right.
So what I did was family and direct people that I met through my work and family members, and they'll recommend me to other people, and the people that I saw their house will recommend me to another person. So always you have to have that touch with that person that you work with.
Yeah.
A personal touch. That way they can refer you to somebody else.
But you put blood, sweat, and tears in the beginning.
I
By the
did.
way, everybody's saying hi. Hey, Zach. Yes.
How you
all
doing,
of that.
Tony?
Hey, guys. What's up? Very sweet, Giselle. Thank you for that. So you had to put the blood, sweat, and tears in, right? You have
Yes.
to. So you can't just say, "I'm going to be a realtor, get your license," and then all of a sudden the phone's going to ring. You have to make the phone ring.
You have to go out there and make it ring. Like, for example, you go and show houses. No matter how many houses you have to show to a buyer. You can't push them into a house. You got to let them make the decision. You know, I'm an agent where I go to a house and I see their faces. I let them make their own decision. I don't push them into a house. I will even say, yeah, I see your face. This is not for you. Let's go to the next one.
Right.
Let's not waste time on this one. Let's go to the next one. I try to have that personal touch with them so they can refer me. I'm not looking for the money. I'm looking to get you into a home, not into a house. Home or house, you know, I go to home every night. I go to home every night. I don't go to a house every night. Home is very important for me. And therefore, I want them to have that same feeling. I'm going to my home, not to a house. You know, it's a big difference. I don't know if you feel the
I
same way.
100% agree. He's saying that a house is a structure, but a home has heart. I mean, it's all
Exactly.
heart and soul
Exactly.
in the home. How did you grow up, before we progress, did you grow up in an environment where that was important? I mean, where do you learn that? Because a lot of people will say later on, well, he must have grown up in this amazing household, or maybe he's got a natural talent. Because you are, I forget who said it earlier, maybe Janae or somebody said it, you're humble. I think there's a cool humility about you. So did you grow up with that? Did you have to learn it? And how do you apply it? You obviously are like that with everybody.
Well, I grew up in a house in Venezuela where it was a kind of like a 50-50 of a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. I don't want to get into, you know, details, but it was very humbling for me to learn to have things and then lose them all. So that's where I learned to, like, oh, I have everything now, and then all of a sudden you don't have anything. And that happened while I was in Venezuela. You know, we had a maid, right? We had somebody to clean
Right.
things for me. And then I moved to the U.S. and literally have nothing, right? You got to go out there and go find the food. You got to hustle. You got to go work 90 hours a week, $4 an hour. You're literally nobody. You're on the ground. You're like nothing. You know, they're treating you like you're just a zero to the left, right?
Yeah.
So you're nothing. So you learn by experience, and it's something that I try to teach my kids when they fail at school or they fail at sports. That's what's going to build character for them.
Right. All right. So you're dialing for dollars,
Yes.
and I think a lot of entrepreneurs, which is what you mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be in real estate. When you have to figure out what your plan is, like if you don't have a circle of influence, you don't have your sphere, like Zach said earlier, you don't have that, and you're starting from scratch. That shouldn't be a distraction or a detraction, I should say, from what your goal is. If you
Yes.
believe in what you want to do. So you decide. Did you find somebody who helped you out? Did you find somebody? How did you go into it and realize that you had to be dialing for dollars and a whole bunch of other stuff?
Well, grateful in my career that I have met people. Mrs. Basante is one of them. She sold me my first home while I was getting my license.
I love it.
So she taught me a lot about the business. She was one of them that taught me a lot about business, the real estate. You know, how to go out there, how to hustle, how to work hard. She owns a business right now. She's a broker. She's a business owner in Miami, right? Then I don't know if you want to go off topic here, but then in real estate, I have to be a stay-home dad for my wife.
Well,
to
let's
go back
talk
to
about
school.
that.
Yes,
I love this. All right, so
'Cause,
because
you know,
I'm sure people want to know. I had a whole bunch of people question me. What are we talking about? The priorities of a dad.
Yes.
Because you have a unique situation at home. So describe that. Tell them what's going on at home. Tell them about your wife and what role you all play. How you work that out.
Okay, so what happened was that, so I married my beautiful wife, Teresa. Hi, baby. Sure you're watching. I married her in 2004, right? 2003, I'm sorry. She had a career. She was an occupational therapist. And 3 years after we got married, she comes home and say, I want to be a doctor. I want to help more people, right? So I said, all right, my career is literally up there, right? So I took off in 2003 with my real estate license. Basante helped me a lot. I'm selling 15, 12 houses every year. My first year, knowing nobody, right? I'm great. She said, I want to be a doctor. What's going to take that I have to leave my career behind? So I had to put it aside for her to become a doctor. So I did it. I did that with so much love and passion. I love.
So when you say you put your career aside, Did you have children at the time?
No, we did not have children at the time, right? So I put it aside. I went with her to Dominica, it's an island in the Caribbean, for her to start the first 2 years of med school. Then we moved to Chicago, right? So I can't do real estate in Dominica. I can't do real estate at that time in Chicago, because as soon as we moved to Chicago, we found out our first baby was coming.
Wow.
So as soon as the baby was born, I stayed home with him. So for her to finish her career.
So you're right, Zach, by the way, I'll comment on that.
I do understand.
You stayed at home. You're a
home.
stay-at-home dad.
Yes, I did. I did in Chicago. I did in Florida when we moved back to Orlando. Then we had the second baby while she was doing residency. So she was working 90 to 100 hours a week at residency at Arnold Palmer. I stayed home with the other two, right? Because, that daycare is very expensive, right? I have to make sure the kids are fine and she's finishing her career.
That's it's a unique role, right? I mean,
Yes.
I think it's becoming a little more popular because.
Yes.
How was that? So what were the challenges with that? Did you ever go, well, I'm the machismo Latino. I am not going to stay at home. And it's not just Latinos; it's men in general. I think
Yes.
have this thing where I got to be the breadwinner. And so, what was that like? When you had the conversation, was it just an easy thing? And then when you did it, was it hard? Was it easy in the beginning? How did you transition?
It was hard, but it wasn't something that I was regretting or, oh my God, this is so horrible, because of the foundation I have for my mom. My mom was the decision making in terms of going to the U.S. My mom is a strong woman, so I'm glad that I grew up with a woman that was very strong, self-driven, outgoing. So when I met my wife, I guess I look into my mom's
Sure.
Ways to find the woman that I found, and I'm glad I did. I thank God every day for her. So it wasn't easy, because you staying home every day, you tend to appreciate women more. To be honest with you,
Sure.
They stay home, they do everything, and whoever thinks that's not a job, please go ahead and don't ever say that. It is a hard job to do. It's very hard because you don't know. Sometimes they don't know what they want.
Right.
They can't talk. They don't, so it's very tough.
You have 3 boys.
I have 3 boys.
Yeah.
So we have them all through the roughest time.
Well, yeah, because she's working 90, 100 hours a week.
Yes.
Hey, Kelly, what's up, guys? She's working 100 hours a week.
Back then, yes.
And you know what? There is no choice. It's not like real estate mortgages. You don't really have flexibility.
No, you don't.
You basically sleep there a lot of times because your break is so short.
Yes.
Thank you, Kelly. And so you're 100% in control at the house.
Yes.
So did you continue to dabble in real estate, keep your license active, or did you 100% go dad?
I always did keep my license up. And during the process of being a stay-at-home dad and also working in other areas here and there that I could have, I met my partner who is now today, Bobby Suarez, right? So I stay home, I help her, but I gotta say, she is, she's so strong that it's you can't find that everywhere. She will work 36 hours, come home, and we'll still go to Disney.
Wow.
She will be there. I will not be at Disney by myself. She will be there too. Yes. She is. We are.
That's a strength and a stamina.
Yes. So we are a great team. I have to say we are a great team. We do things together. We fight together. We help each other together. We support each other in our dreams and careers. So that's a plus that I have to say that many people don't
so
share.
Huge, because I think a lot of times, like, the traditional role is, the dad goes to work, the mom stays home. I mean, that's old school, right?
Yes.
But I think sometimes, especially in this day and age, women have a career. So who's to say that the man can't stay home? I worked and Stacy stayed home.
Okay.
But when I came home, she was like, here you go. You take over. And I love that about the give and take on the relationship. Obviously, neither of us were working. It's your time to flourish.
That's my wife.
I know. She's obviously amazing. But I think it's so important that you have that support system, because raising kids alone is difficult. just period. And in this day and age, it's even more of a
Yes.
challenge. And then if you don't have a partner, a spouse that isn't on the same page as you, it can be devastating. It can be
Yes.
such a challenge. So what priorities of a dad? So tell me about your day. You've obviously, the kids are getting older.
Yes.
Well, how old are they?
9, 7, and 4.
Okay, so you still have little
Yeah,
ones.
oh yes, we still
All
have
right,
little
and
ones.
boys, I mean, my son, energy, it's a different, I have 2 girls and then a boy. It's a different energy, I feel like. And so they're constantly energetic and on the go. How do you all balance? What do you do? How the priorities was the thing that you put in the
Yes.
title. How do you set priorities? How do you and your wife keep them so that they're reachable and you guys aren't constantly stressed out about them?
Well, again, the teamwork. You know, when I'm super stressed, she takes over. So on a daily basis, she goes to work around 7:30. But before she leaves, she helped me a little bit, right? To something, anything helps. You know, like because I'm 3, I have 3 there asking me for get me ready,
Everything.
food, it's homework, a lot of things. So we do a little bit of you know, every morning, every afternoon when they get from work, everybody gets from work, teamwork. So I take in the morning, I prepare the breakfast, I get them ready. She helped me with the baby, which is, you know, that's the hard one because, you know, mommy's baby.
Yeah.
She helped me with him, and then she goes to work. I'll take him to school, and of course on the road you start talking about them. You know, you show them. You
Sure.
know, for example, respect, morals. Those are things that are very important for me. Like how I treat my wife is how they're going to treat their women.
So true.
Right? So it's very important that for me to treat, and I, you know, it's out of love. Of course, you love your wives, you
Right.
treat her right, and you do it naturally, not fake, so they can see it. And then when they look into a woman, they look into somebody that I have to respect,
Right.
love her, and be a not a rock, so they can trip on it, and not but a rock to go on.
Well, I love that.
You know, like for them to use that these ideas that I have in terms of moral respect and support, so they can have a successful relationship with their wives.
Well, it's funny to me because a lot of parents, and I know it's hard. I'm a parent, so
Yeah.
it's to me the most rewarding thing I've ever done, but it's certainly the most challenging thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens with this is that people say, all right, tell their kids to do this, and yet that's not what they're modeled at home. That's not what's going on at home.
Yeah.
What's going on at home is completely different than what you're telling them to do. And if you don't think these kids are smart enough to pick up on it and realize immediately, well, you're telling me to do that, but that's not what you do, Dad, or that's not what you do, Mom. It's really detrimental for them, and so they get confused. This is why my thing, I always love parents where there's no structure at home,
Okay.
and yet they're surprised when they go out to a restaurant and the kids don't know how to act.
That's
They
right.
have no idea. They've had no role model. They've had no structure at home. You can't expect them to be one way that you're not modeling and reinforcing and giving them structure. And then all of a sudden, just because they're at a restaurant, they're supposed to figure out how to behave.
No.
And it's amazing to me because it takes a lot of work, which you know,
Yes.
to parent. It's a 24/7 plus
It is.
job
It is.
to keep on top of it because like Julio has, he's got a whole nother business. His wife has a whole nother business. And then you have to come together and try to figure out how to still be there and a presence in your kids' lives.
Yes, yeah. So I agree 100% with
It's
you on that.
just
yes.
so. What's it like now? They're older, so you have the baby's 4, so he's still young.
Yes.
But are you getting out? You're obviously you said you have 5 listings, I think, or something
Yes,
like that.
right now, yes.
So are you shifting out a little bit to do more business, or are you still the primary caregiver during the day?
I am the primary giver during the day, and I still have my own business with my partner, Bobby Suarez. So basically, I'll do the morning chores with the kids, take them to school, go to the office, take care of the agents, you know, teach them, give them ideas of how to run their business too, right? Also taking care of projects that we have. We do flips. So I have to go to the houses, make sure everybody's working what they need to do on our flips, right? And my partners, my partner, I can't thank him enough of all the teaching and mentoring that I've been receiving from him in the flip side, on the flips business. So, and then in the afternoon, I got to go pick them up
Right.
to school, then take them to soccer practice.
Correct.
Yeah, so during those times, I have to stop at a park with my computer, while they're having a practice, I
You're
get
still
my computer
working.
out. It's still working. It's a nonstop.
Yeah.
Right. You get home, wife takes over. I do work.
Right.
If I don't have work, then I'll do it. If she has work, I'll take over. It is not. Go ahead and do it.
Correct.
You know, it's that's why the teamwork is very important,
So
because
critical.
you got to take over when the other one is busy. Last night, my wife was working, doing patient charts. Right. I got home from soccer practice. What do I have to do? I can't be like here, right?
Right.
I have to go and do what it needs to be done. Shower them whoever needs to be showered, feed them whoever needs to be fed.
Sure.
So you got to do it while she's working. Then she's done. Then I'll relax, and then she puts them to bed. So you know, it's not like go ahead and do it. I'm done everything during the day. No, if you do that, that's where it's
Yeah,
like
you're
home.
not pushing anything off
Exactly.
on each other.
Everybody needs to know that if you're busy, you just do it.
So how do you keep the relationship fresh? Because you guys are both working 1,000,000 hours a week. You've got the 3 boys, and you have soccer practice. You have everything going on. Do you all have? I'm always fascinated with couples. So
Yeah.
do you have a date night that you try to do? What do you do so that you have some adult time together?
Well, we find any crack at the time at the day.
Guys, it's a crack. Let me tell you from experience. You've got a crack, and you better take it, right?
It's right there. So today, for example, I can give an example today. So we got to go get them at 3. She's done at work today at noon, right? So we got to get them to her at 3. As soon as we're done with the show, so we will meet up and have a lunch together and
Nice.
talk and have our moment. Then we got to go get the kids.
Yeah.
Because she's busy tonight on an event. So we always find that small space for us, and it's on a weekly basis. We have to find it weekly basis, our moment. We don't let that go on. Even though she's working 90 hours at the hospital back then, we always find that moment for us.
That's so
because you got to
important.
keep it fresh. You know, you can't just let everything take away your relationship with the wife.
We have to work. So I think a lot of people confuse. So you're in a relationship, whether you're married or not. It's still work, and it's not that it's laborious work.
Mm-hmm.
It's that you're basically bringing 2 individuals together. Now you have 3 kids, you have 2 jobs, you have 2 careers, you have all this stuff going on. You have to make an effort, like in any relationship. I don't care if it's business partner, marriage, whatever you're in. You have to make an effort
Yes.
to bring it together and to make time for each other, because it has to be an intentional, cognizant thing. Because
Yes.
we all get caught up. If you looked at least office space next to Cassie's office, so we could have lunch together regularly. There you go.
All
That's
right.
for you, me or you.
All right.
I love Zach. But I think it's so important. You have to work together on it.
Yes.
And then you have to figure out how to be flexible. Like you were saying earlier, you can't just go, here are the kids, you deal with it. You have to talk things through.
Yes.
We're not saying this is easy. What we're saying is that you have to work at it. And I think a lot of people think that everything's going to be easy and it's all good and it's hunky-dory and it's all sex. And you know what? That's part of it, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the deal: that can't be all of it when you have careers and you have
Yes.
kids and you have responsibilities.
One key comment that I would say is adaptation. You have to be able to adapt
Yes.
in a relationship. You start, of course, everything is so fun, right? No responsibilities, right? Your boyfriend, girlfriend going out, waking up at noon, right? After a long night.
I miss those days.
Right? I miss them too, but let me tell you, we still do them at this day.
I love that.
Right, we drop them over my mom and dad, and we'll go even, to downtown, stayed at the Bohemian,
Yeah.
right? And you got to do those things. You got to do them. You got to keep them fresh, like you said,
do.
right? You got
You
to, I mean, you got to adapt too, because before you had all this time, now you have less time.
Well, you have to adapt, and basically you have to be flexible. You
Yes.
have to. It's give and take. So you may not be in a good place or in a good mood or want to deal with what's going on,
Yeah.
but sometimes your partner isn't either. So it's not fair for you to just dump on each other 24/7. Now, Stacy and I have we're in sync most of the time. Like if I'm ever having a moment or a couple of days and I'm not in the right place, normally she'll take over and understand the cues, and then she becomes the cheerleader.
Yes.
But you have to be communicating in order to do that. You can't just hide it. And you can't just go into your own little hole. You have to communicate with each other. I just think it's so important, and
Communication.
especially when you have children.
Yeah.
Guys, you have to work on that. The kids sense and know everything.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
think they don't, you are sadly mistaken. My kids remember when Stacy and I had an argument back in, I don't know, 2000. I mean, it wasn't even that big of a deal, but they will remember that. And so you kind of have to be on board with each other. And I think it's so important in any relationship.
Oh, yes, very definitely. Nobody's perfect.
No,
right? So
no.
you all have your
I'm
problems,
close. No.
right? Yeah, we're very close.
We're
right?
so close.
Right. So it's very important to communicate, to talk, because if you don't talk, then things start piling up.
Correct.
And then explode.
Right.
So some things that I do in my office is just talk. Let's sit down and talk. That's why the lunch, right? The lunch is sometimes
So
to say
important.
it's not. Again, you say like sex is important, right? But communication, I think, is even more important.
I agree.
Right? Because if
Totally.
things are not happening, why I feel this way? What do we need to do? We need to change these things so I can
Right.
feel more. I feel better.
You're
in our
very
relationship.
evolved for a
Yes.
dude.
Huh?
You're very evolved for a dude. No, but I think I that's a compliment. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
thank you.
compliment. I think men are just taught to be a certain way, and I know we're changing that in our worlds. We really are. But men generally are taught this very traditional role of what you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to be in the relationship you're in.
Yes.
And I think it's awesome that you all have decided as a couple that this is how we're going to raise our boys.
Yes.
So what's in the future? So as they get older, and they, believe me, as you know, they get busier, believe it or not, their schedules
Yes.
become insane.
I know.
And then you have 3 kids in 3 different groups doing 3 different things, and you want to try to divide and conquer when there's only 2 of you. Been there, done that. It's insane to have to do. So what is your long-term plan? You're going to continue to grow your real estate business.
Yes.
Your wife is going to continue to grow her practice.
Yes.
And then as the boys get up in age, are you guys planning on what you're going to do, how you're going to handle it, priorities of a dad? Like, how are you going to prioritize?
Well, we're gonna prioritize as they grow with of course, the oldest. Whoever is in sports, whoever is in needs help in school. So first of all, school is more important. That's one thing that I learned through my wife. She again makes me a better man. I can tell you right now.
That's awesome.
Right. So we will prioritize on education. That's the key. Right. The key is education. So somebody needs help with our kids. That's what we're gonna prioritize.
Right.
If I need to go, we need to be in 3 different places. I will go ahead and drop one in one place, then she'll go and get him, or in that place.
Man.
So you got to be in a team. Again, she'll do things that I can't, and I'll do things that I can't. So in my business, I want to be able to delegate. That's my next step.
Critical.
My next step is to delegate, not to take so much in, because it is very stressful when you take everything in. One thing that I don't know if you remember the meeting I have with Veronica Figueroa one time. She told me, "Were you willing to delegate?" At the time, I wasn't, because I'm a little bit of a control freak, right? So I need to start delegating. Yeah,
Delegation
right?
can be super hard. Why?
Yes.
Because we're perfectionists and we
Yeah.
want it done our way, and you have to be able to learn how to trust people to do it
Yes.
as close to your way as possible. It's
Yes.
never going to be your way.
Yep.
I'm
No.
telling you, it's just not. So you
Yeah.
have to learn how to do that and delegate. Veronica's a very smart human being.
Yes. I want to give a shout out also to Todd Scruth. He's been also a mentor
He's
to me.
amazing. Absolutely
He's been
amazing.
teaching me about building a team, which
Awesome.
I'm very grateful for.
He's a good man.
Yes.
Funny. Actually, he's
Yes.
really funny.
Yes.
Super
Yes.
funny. All right, so we're going to share, see how fast it goes? We're going to share all
Yes.
of Julio's contact information, how you can reach out to him. Look, if you have kids and you're trying, I have another friend who is in has a
Situation.
similar relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and it works for them, and communication is literally the key. But isn't that the key for everything, guys? I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Your feelings, what's going on. If you can communicate with people and feel comfortable with it, then obviously you're going to be able to get to some sort of resolution. So
Yeah.
we have to stop hiding this stuff and being passive aggressive. That's my opinion.
Yes.
So we're going to share all of Julio's contact information, how you can reach out to him. If you're a dad or a mom
Yes.
that's going crazy, you definitely want to reach out to him. He's very accessible, just like he is. He's very open. But we want to talk about mentors, and you mentioned a couple. We're big on mentorship here. We love to talk about mentors because we need them in our city, in our area. It doesn't matter what business you're in. We need more people to give back. So give some more shout outs to some people who helped you along the way. I know you mentioned your partner.
Well, yeah, Bobby Suarez, my partner, Todd Scruth, and then I want to talk about my family and my wife's family. They were very instrumental on our successful. They helped us a lot along the way to where we are today. So shout out to both of our families. We love them. They know how much we love them. The kids love them to death too.
Of course.
Because they know the sacrifice they did for us to get to where we are today. So those are Bobby Suarez, Todd, my family, her family. They're very key to our success today.
I love that. So we'll have to tag Bobby and Todd,
Yes.
and whomever else later on. You're always a joy to be around, man.
Same here. I always
it's
tell you, right?
You do, and I
always tell
appreciate
you.
that. But you're great, and I love your humility. I think that is so important. I think more people need to practice that. It will keep you out of some really stressful situations if you realize the Earth and the moon and the universe do not revolve around you. Just some words of advice. I need to probably take those on occasion, but I think humility is so important, and you always come into everything, whether it's NAREP or our meetings or whatever we're doing, you always come in and you're very appreciative, grateful, and humble. And I think those are amazing characteristics to have, especially with your world. A wife who's a doctor, 3 boys.
Yeah.
You've got a big practice, a real estate practice. And so to keep that and maintain that is a big testament to you. All right, love you, brother. We love you guys.
Love you too.
We'll be back around, I forget, but I think it's 2:30.
2:30.
I love you guys so much. Happy Friday. Reach out to Julio. He's just as wonderful in person as he is on the TED Show. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Mwah.
Take care,
See you
guys.
later.